Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting of June 27th, 2024. My name is Vern Crow and I am the chairperson of the commission. The Planning Commission is a citizen body appointed by the City Council. The commission is empowered to make final decisions on certain matters, with those being appealable to City Council. On other matters, the commission acts in an advisory role to the council, with the council making the final decision. You will have an opportunity to address the commission during the public hearing portion of the meeting. Your testimony is appreciated and encouraged. The commission acts from a written agenda. You will need to fill out a yellow speaker card and give it to the city staff if you wish to speak on an item tonight. Copies of the agenda and the speaker cards are located on the table just outside the main door to this chambers. At this time, please be sure to silence your cell phones. There are 7 members appointed to the Planning Commission, and at this time I will ask commissioners to introduce themselves and state the district they are representing, starting from my far right.
John Crow, Mayoral District.
Tom Cole, Barrel District.
Ed Nyberg, Choya District.
Martin Nowakowski, Yucca District.
John Gears, Ocotillo District.
Brian Hooper, Saguaro District.
And I'm Vern Crow. I represent Cactus. Let the record show that all the members of the Planning Commission are present. The Planning Commission receives staff assistance and guidance from the Planning Division along with the City Attorney's Office. Now on to the approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2024 Planning Commission workshop and regular meeting?
Mr. Chair, I move the minutes be approved as written.
Thank you, sir. Do I hear a second?
Support.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of April 25th, 2024 Planning Commission workshop and regular meeting as written. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Perry, are there any withdrawals or continuances this evening?
Good evening, Chairperson Crow and Commissioners. There are none.
Thank you. The purpose of the public hearing is to provide interested parties an opportunity to present testimony for the Commission's consideration. We will follow the same procedures for each item. I will call the application's number and the name of the applicant. Staff will present their report and answer questions from the Commission. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation and answer questions from the Commission. Other persons who wish to testify will be asked to do so and answer questions from the Commission. The applicant will have an opportunity for closing comments. Staff will be asked for any final comments on the application and procedural guidance if needed. I will then close the public hearing and ask for a motion prior to further discussion by the Commission. If you wish to speak on an item, you will need to state your name and address for the record. Please be brief and to the point and avoid repetition. I reserve the right to limit the length of the testimony. All exhibits shown to the Commission become part of the permanent record and must be submitted for the file. Large groups should designate a spokesperson. Applause and other disruptions which delay the hearing will not be tolerated. We only have one public hearing item this evening. Our first agenda item is GPA 24-01 and ZON 24-01. Ms. Lavelle will present the case.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Crow and Commissioners. Tonight I'll be presenting the M.R. Tanner Mining General Plan Amendment and Rezone Application. So this request is for a minor general plan amendment from public open space and low density residential to heavy industrial, and a companion rezone with a special use district from agricultural, suburban residential, and single family residential to heavy industrial. The applicant is Gilbert Bliley, and the owner is the City of Glendale. So the applicant is in contract with the City of Glendale to purchase the property for the use of the property as a mining operations. So this is a vicinity map showing the property in relation to City Hall. The property is located about 8 miles from City Hall, and it's located east of the southeast corner of Glendale Avenue and El Mirage Road. This is the current general plan designation and the zoning classification maps for the property. So this is an aerial photograph that depicts the property in relation to properties in the vicinity. As you can see, this property is located within the Agua Fria floodplain, and it is surrounded by mining operations. To the direct west of the site, there is a single-family residential subdivision with the closest home at about 3/4 of a mile away. Also, the property takes access off of El Mirage Road, which is controlled by Maricopa County. So here's a conceptual site plan that just gives kind of an idea of what is going to be occurring on site. The applicant is proposing for a aggregate mining operation that will utilize the site to extract sand and gravel. And then to the direct west of the site, the applicant owns the property to the west, and they will be using these two sites as one, and the Three Rocks Mining Company will process the aggregate mining materials to be sold. So the applicant has met all the public notification requirements. There was a neighborhood meeting. There was no one in attendance. However, there was one neighbor called in to the city, to city staff, and they had some questions on removing the property out of public open space as a general plan designation. And so the applicant reached out to the neighbor and explained to them that this is not only not a park, but the property is actually zoned for single-family residential, and so the zoning would trump that general plan designation. So staff finds that the proposal is consistent with the general plan for sound growth management. The city is growing, and there is much need for aggregate materials for roads and for stormwater retention and for landscaping. And this is supported by the general plan for that sound growth management. The zone change is compatible with the adjacent properties, but it's also compatible with the operations of the Air Force Base. And in this particular site, a single-family residential home would not be allowed. As part of the findings for the rezone, with the M2 zoning district, there is a requirement that a special use district is as an overlay for this area for aggregate mining. And so there are some findings that we have evaluated for that special use district, and it has been found that there will not be a significant increase in traffic. In fact, the city transportation engineer signed off on it, stating that there would be no reason for a TIS or a TIA. There will not be any excessive noise or light, for much of the operations is going to be occurring below grade in a pit, and there will be no permanent lighting on site. There will be no buildings built on site, and then the hours of operation are going to be typically 7 to 5, Monday through Friday. However, there will be the occasional time that they need to meet some sort of deadline. And so the applicant has put in mitigation measures for any kind of light or noise disturbance. Staff recommends approval of GPA 24-01 as written. And staff recommends the approval of ZON 24-01 subject to the following stipulations. Development shall be in substantial conformance with the applicant's project narratives, date stamped May 17th, 2024. Development shall be in substantial conformance with the applicant's site plan, date stamped May 17th, 24. The developer shall construct site improvements in conformance with the real property purchase and sale agreement recorded with Maricopa County Recorder on December 12th, 2023. A 10-foot tall from grade berm along the northern boundary of parcel 50155-003B and the eastern portion of the northern boundary of parcel 501-99-001J shall be installed prior to the start of business operations. All proposed site improvements shall require Luke Air Force Base approval and City of Glendale design and construction plan review prior to installation. All proposed road improvements to El Mirage Road require coordination with Maricopa County Department of Transportation for review and approval. Any future proposed access from Glendale Avenue will require the City of Glendale Transportation Department review and approval. As part of this approval, the road will require design and construction plan approval. All operations, monitoring, record keeping, and reporting will be conducted in accordance with an approved Maricopa County air permit for dust control. All mine activities will be regulated by the United States Mine Safety and Health Administration under the approved mine site identification used by Three Rocks LLC. No operations will take place when significant flows occur in the Agua Fria River, and the vertical and horizontal limits of excavation will be in conformance with the approved aggregate mined land reclamation plan administered by the Arizona State Mine Inspector and the floodplain use permit issued by the City of Glendale. Once it is determined that the appropriate unconsolidated sand and gravel resources have been excavated from the property, the site will be reclaimed back to its purpose as a primary floodway of the Agua Fria River. The reclamation plan will be approved by the ASMI and will include a suitable financial assurance mechanism to guarantee that planned reclamation efforts are conducted in the event of default. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners, anything for Ms. Lavelle? Commissioner Cole?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Lavelle, I noted in your report, if I can find it again, that the site will be returned once the mine is played out. The site will be returned to basically Agua Fria channel kind of flood control. I've lost it in my notes. I apologize. Does that, you have recollection of that?
Chairperson Crow, Commissioner Cole, yes, that is the intent.
Is there any kind of understanding that I haven't been able to read here that the city will reacquire that property after the mine is no longer functional? Right, thank you, Mr. Chair. So once it's determined the appropriate unconsolidated sand and gravel resources have been excavated, the site will be reclaimed back to its purpose as a primary floodway for the Agua Fria River. Is it the city's intent to purchase that back from the buyer at that point?
Chairperson Crow, Commissioner Cole, the purchase and sale agreement went through council, and it would have to go through a council action for them to go through and purchase the property back from the applicant. So I don't have any knowledge either way, but I can, you can speak with the applicant about that. They may have some additional knowledge.
Thank you, Ms. Lavelle. That's all I have, sir.
Commissioners, anything else? Commissioner Nowakowski?
Recommendation number 5. All proposed site improvements shall require Luke Air Force Base approval and City of Glendale design and construction plan review. So I'm just kind of curious, what kind of site improvements are we trying to protect or trying to protect Luke Air Force Base with? And have we, and the proximity to the Glendale Airport, is there any concerns there either?
Chairperson Crow, Commissioner Nowakowski, there is, we always send out this information out to Luke Air Force Base as well as the airport, regardless of what the operations are. So both will be informed all the way through the process. So both will have that opportunity to review the site and work with the city through that.
Commissioners? Thank you, Ms. Lavelle. Okay, would the applicant or applicant's representative like to come forward and add anything? State your name for the record and make your presentation.
Thank you. My name is Paul Gilbert, 701 North 44th Street, Phoenix. I have a 45-minute presentation with slides. I have my engineer who's prepared to also present for another 30 minutes. But in light of that very thorough and complete presentation by Christina, and also given the fact that there's a much more interesting debate going on than you will enjoy rather than listening to me, let me just say we've worked closely with the staff. We're buying this property from the city of Glendale, and there's nothing in the purchase contract that requires we sell it back. But after the sand and gravel's gone, and it can only be used as part of the floodplain, we would be happy to sell it to anyone that wants to buy it. Other than that, I don't have anything to add to the presentation. Eric and I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Commissioners?
Thank you.
Commissioner Gare?
I'm just interested in how much sand and gravel is there that you can take? How long will it take you to deplete the mine?
We do not know the full extent of the sand and gravel. How much is there? That's what we're exploring now as part of our due diligence. So I'm sorry I don't have an answer to that. But I would guess Eric will be mining it for 4 or 5 years. And that's just an estimate.
An estimate, depending
Yeah.
on the market and how much you find.
That's correct. This whole operation, sand and gravel, is very dependent on the market and the economy, as you can appreciate.
And then the equipment that you're using is just about the road work size. It's not super
Right,
big.
just dozers, some graders, and trucks. The processing of the sand and gravel operation will be on the adjacent property, which we own. So there won't be any processing. We'll just be removing it, taking it over to the property that we own for the processing.
Okay, thank you.
Surely.
Commissioner Cole?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Gilbert?
Yes.
Maybe a question for your engineer, but will this materials for the berm come from the site, or will those be coming from off-site?
Yeah, actually, the berm is already there.
Thank you, sir.
So wherever it came from, I don't know, but it's not going to be removed.
Thank you.
Surely.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. It's kind of chagrin I'm paid by the word, so it's a little hard on me to be so brief tonight, but I'm delighted with the staff report, and I should have added, we are in full agreement with all of the staff conditions and stipulations. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Ms. Lavelle, anything additional?
I'll waive my closing remarks, too.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any speaker cards, and I don't have an audience. Okay. Staff, any final guidance?
Chairperson Crowe, Commissioners, there's none.
Okay, the public hearing for case number GPA 24-01 and ZON 24-01 is now closed. We will vote on each application separately. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, clarify when you say separately?
We're gonna vote twice, one for 2401 and one for ZON 2401.
I see it now. Okay.
So the first one will be GPA 24-01. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Cole,
I move to recommend approval of GPA 2401 as written.
do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Are there any further comments from the commission? Okay, seeing none, I have a motion and a second to approve GPA 24-01 as outlined in the staff report. I will now conduct a roll call vote. Commissioner Crowe,
Aye.
Commissioner Cole,
Aye.
Vice Chair Nyberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Nowakowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Gears,
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number GPA 24-01 has been recommended for approval as written by staff. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps in the process?
Chair and members of the commission, your action with respect to case number GPA 24-01 is not final. Your recommendation will be forwarded to the City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Okay, do I hear a motion for ZON 24-01?
Chair, I recommend approval of ZON 24-01 as written.
Thank you, Commissioner Crowe. Do I hear a second?
Support.
Any further discussions regarding ZON 24-01 by the commission? Hearing none, I have a motion and a second to approve case number ZON 24-01, which is subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. I will conduct a roll call vote starting from my far right. Commissioner Crowe,
Aye.
Commissioner Cole,
Aye.
Vice Chair Nyberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Nowakowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Gears,
Aye.
Commissioner Hooper.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Case number ZON 24-01 has been recommended for approval subject to stipulations as outlined by staff. Mr. Gruber, what are the next steps in the process?
Chair and members of the commission, like your action with the companion general plan amendment case, your recommendation related to the zoning case, ZON 24-01, is not final and will be forwarded to the City Council.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. Ms. Perry, is there any other business this evening?
Chairperson Crowe, Commissioners, there's none.
Okay, Ms. Perry, are there any planning staff reports?
Chairperson Crowe, Commissioners, yes, there is. The Commissioners, during the discussion and approval of the 2024 Planning Commission's goals and work plan, one of the established goals is to receive annual reports on projects and cases in which the Planning Commission took a final action on or took an action of recommendation to City Council. Staff has provided an initial annual report that spans over 2 years, 2022 and 2023. Among other information, the report includes details on approximately 34 cases in 2022 and approximately 31 cases in 2023. Commission has acted upon and provides a status update on each case. Our GIS team created a development site locator that allows one to review the approved plans for each case. If you were to look at the annual report, it's uploaded on the agenda or as located on the planning webpage. You will be able to use the development site locator portal to see plans and obtain the most recent status update on each one of these cases. I want to also mention that this was a collaboration of various staff members, but I especially want to acknowledge Sharon Larsila, who is our planning intern, who was instrumental in allowing us to provide this information to you this evening. Staff will provide the 2024 annual report in the first quarter of 2025. If the commission seeks additional information other than what has been provided on this agenda, staff looks forward to receiving your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, any comments or suggestions?
Chairman,
Commissioner Gears?
I would like to thank staff for putting this together. We've been driving around the city, and every time my wife looks at something, she says, "You're on the commission, what's that for?" I said, "I don't know." So now I'll be able to answer that. It's got some really good information, and I appreciate the effort.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on an item not on tonight's agenda? Okay, the Planning Commission will adjourn for July and reconvene the next meeting in August 22nd at 6 p.m. here at the Glendale Civic Center. If there's no further business, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.